Hi Liz, Merry Christmas 2022. Hope you're having a great Christmas. Granddad here. So, you probably opened your presents by now. It's been a funny year this year, and I thought you might do well to have a journal. And bullet journals seem to be the thing these days. So I've got yours here, and it's got that wonderful metal stencil in it, and all the pages are dots. And there's so many sites these days for bullet journaling. It's just crazy. But I thought I'd touch on just a couple of notes. I have a bunch of notes. I sat down and thought about you and journaling. And so, you know, I do some journaling. I like to. And actually, right now, this is all I'm using. And you know, I write all sorts of things in here. I keep track of all kinds of stuff. Like, well, there, things that I would like to have, or, you know, save for, or this one here, that note, that's an oolong, about oolong tea, and I'd like to get a Gong Fu tea set one of these days. I wrote a list of on this one, it was just 160 beat per minute songs for when I'm running, and I was trying to hold 160 beats per minute when I run. So things like that, you know, information about doctor's appointments, and when I pay the bills, and all sorts of stuff. And a lot of that stuff you don't have to worry about yet. You will one of these days, I'm sure. But I put a lot of recipes in here that I like, and one of the things you can do is you can put little tabs in there, and I mean, it's as easy as masking tape. I've got an orange one on here. You know, orange is my favorite color, and I just had some cloth tape that I use for, well, actually I wrap my ankle sometimes after I run or before I run, and it just helps support my ankle. I forget what that tape's called, but, and yeah, recipes. Sometimes I see a recipe and I think, oh, that would be good. And I write the recipe in there, and I don't always get around to making it, but that's okay. I've got it in there, and it's there. I might make it, might not, but just taking the time and writing out a recipe. Here's one I did make recently. It's for a tamale pie with vegetable picadillo, and you know, I try to take the time to write it neatly and think about it while I'm writing it. And you can see in the margin there, I put calorie counts, and then I break it down by servings, because, well, we're always dieting here and counting calories, and I hope you don't have to when you get to be this age. It's annoying. But anyway, I thought maybe I'd just go over some of my notes. I got a whole page of stuff here that I wrote to just mention to you about journaling. Journaling is pretty important, and it's pretty helpful. It helps you your schedule, and maybe you've got a project due, or maybe you've got some tasks that you want to put a to-do list on today. So yeah, bullet journaling seems to be the thing these days. Bullet journaling, and that's got to do with all those dots, and you can look up on YouTube, and I don't know. Do you ever go on Reddit or not? There's some things there that are a little adult, but Reddit has a really good bunch of things. Subreddits they're called, and there'll be a subject, and there's some good journaling on there. There's just a journaling subreddit. There's one journaling as art, and that's pretty interesting. And art is one of the things that you can put in your journal. You know, if you're drawing, or maybe you paste some pictures in, and that sort of thing. You can write notes about things you saw or felt today. I'm going to try and make it a daily habit, but you don't have to do it every day, you know. You can write down quotes or sayings that you see that you like, that, you know, really kind of hit home with you. You know, you want to be intentional about what you're writing in there, you know. Something means something to you. You want to be intentional about what you allow into your life and into your journal. Don't let garbage and nonsense into your life or your journal. Don't let that into your head. The journal, it's your space, and you own it, you know, nobody else. You want to keep it simple, unless you don't want to. You can make it beautiful. You can write what you're going to wear tomorrow or the next day. And that's one less decision you need to make when you're getting ready for school in the morning. You know, the dot books, and that's a dot. Instead of lines, it's got dots, and I think it's every 5 millimeters. They're spaced apart, probably. I think that's a standard. For me, I have a dot book here that a friend gave me. You met Matt this summer when you were here. That was one of the best vacations I've ever had, when you guys were here, and we drove to the West Coast. Had so much fun. But he gave me, Matt, I don't know if you remember Matt, big man. He gave me this book, and it's all dots as well. And I use that, and maybe if I'm going to make something or build something, I'll draw it up sometimes in there. Sometimes I'll draw it on the computer, but it's nice to sit down and draw things or write things with, just take the time, and like I said, be intentional about it. And when you have to sit down and write things out, and you're trying to write them, because my writing and printing is, yeah, it can be pretty sloppy. So when I'm, you know, doing something, I take my time, and it makes me think a little bit harder about what I'm doing. I try to print slowly, mindfully. Let me see. Yeah, things you can write in there. You know, you pay attention to the little things around you, things that happen or things you see. Pay attention to those. Write those in your journal. I'll take those off. You know, write those things in your journal. Yeah, make it your own journal. It's yours alone. And you only share it if and when you want to share it, not when somebody else is demanding to see what's in there. It's yours. You can make art in your journal. You can make drawings. You can put stickers in there. Use colored pencils. Use some watercolors. You get an idea. Turn it into a reality. Make it into a project and build it in your journal. If you have a dream and you wake up, write down that dream. You know, it could be important. Or it could be something fun, you know, years from now. Maybe you'll still have your journal. Maybe you'll have a whole series of them. Maybe you'll have a whole shelf full of journals. And that would be really cool. Because maybe when you're my age and you can look back 40 and 50 years and pick out one of those journals off the shelf and, you know, turn to a day in 2023 or 2026 and turn to a random day and see what you were thinking that day. It will be pretty interesting and you'll enjoy it. Trust me. So if you're curious about something, maybe you decide you'd like to, I don't know, you want to do something, find out more about it. Write about it in your journal. Maybe you went for a run with Dad one day and before you go to bed, maybe you'll write down how that made you feel. And you know, was it a great time with Dad? Yeah. Maybe you want to write a letter to future Liz, or future Betty, or future Elizabeth. And write a letter to yourself when you're 25. What do you think 25-year-old Liz is going to be doing? You'll appreciate that when you're 25, when you read that letter. You really will. You can track your homework, what's due. You can schedule in your swimming lessons, any stuff like that. You know, cut out pictures, glue them in, make a collage. Maybe print some pictures that you've taken, or maybe some drawings. You know, if you get overwhelmed sometimes, you don't have to be. It helps a lot of times, and it helps me. It helps me too. I do the same thing, you know, I get overwhelmed. But I sit down and I write out what it is. And just the act of sitting down and writing it out makes it somehow easier to break down the problem and easier to get through. Helps declutter your mind. You know, sometimes we have those days and there's so much going on and you know, your head is just full of so much. If you sit down and write it out, you don't have to have it all in your mind, because some of it's in here, storing it in here for you. Yeah. You know what I might do? I might just take this page, cut it out. There's a lot of notes. I might just take that page out of my book and in the back of your book, the one that I'm sending you, there's a little place to keep things, papers, important things, and maybe not so important things too. But maybe I'll cut that page out and I'll put it in there, and you can see what my notes were, and maybe what I was thinking today. Well, on the back page of that, there's a recipe for corn basil cream. Well, the corn basil cream is a recipe that goes into another recipe that's on the page before that. That one is for pasta salad with mixed veggies and corn basil cream. So, to be fair, I should probably cut that one out too. And on the back of that is another recipe. This is a good one. I've made this one. That's the one, the tamale pie with vegetable picadillo. Take the time to make that. Get some masa harina and make that. They're all three of these are all vegetarian recipes. Yeah, take a few minutes to make those up. I'll tuck those into the back. I love you and I miss you. I really, really had a great time this summer with you guys. That was one of the best times I've had in years. And swimming in the ocean with you and Barry and your mom and dad and just the whole thing, you know. You guys were here for a couple weeks. I hope you come back again soon. Anyway, Merry Christmas. I love you and hope we'll be together again soon.